Good evening, and welcome to Allports Gaming, SuperCar NZ. This is round 4 of our V8s at Oschersleben. Tell me if I'm wrong there, Shane.
I believe that was correct.
We'll go with that. So yeah, I'm Doug, and I've obviously got Shane here in the broadcasting lounge with me here tonight, and the one and only Sean McNamara, race controller extraordinaire. He's here with us at the moment, and he'll probably pop in and out a little bit. I can see from our new links with our pop-ups, we've got Scott Pickering joined us already, and he says, hello, hello, hello. What have we here, Cobber? So, g'day there to you, Mr. Pickering. Thank you for joining us. Shano, would you like to give us a rundown of our track this evening and what we can expect?
Yeah, so Motorsport Arena Oschersleben in Germany became the 4th permanent racing facility to open in Germany when its doors first opened in 1997. And since then it's been a long host of FIA GT Championship, DTM and international touring car events. And it will open the NASCAR, it will welcome the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series for the first time next year.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, it's been a cool track addition. I think we've had it now for about what would be coming up nearly 5 months, I think. 5 or 6 months.
So it was released in the Season 4 2022 build, and obviously we're into Season 1 2023 now, so
yeah,
good 3 or 4 months now.
Yep. Yeah, no, and it's been a cool addition. It's a nice track to get around. We obviously had the GT3s here last season, as you said before, Season 4 of 22, and yeah, it was quite neat. We've got we've got all our cars gridding up, so qualifying is over, and I can see there, as it's just done that, Mr. Connor Nixon has managed to take P1 for this evening. Now I'll click down through the grid quickly there. So Connor Nixon has P1, Bruce Tannock P2, Simon Heddershire in P3, Dion DeGraaf P4, Craig Mason 5th, Sam Neal 6th, Heath Parlett there in 7th, Cole Taylor 8th, and Shane Gisbergen 9th. Steve Bradford in 10. We'll go down a couple more with you there, Shane.
We've got Blake sitting 11th in the Property Edge Mustang, Steve Darren 12th in the SDI Commodore, Daniel Johnson is 13th in the Johnson Racing Commodore, and BJ O'Keefe 14th in the OKMS Mustang. Then we've got Dane Noda sitting 15th, Eamon Young 16th, James McKenzie 17th, Mark Wright 18th, Scott McKenzie 19th, and Stuart Crawford 20th.
Yeah, and we've got a few more cars ticking down through the back. We've got a field of 35, I believe, 35, as we jump back up to Connor, and we will have a look for him as they come down towards us here.
Yeah, so 8-lap race coming up as the lights come up, and they're going to start lighting up, and they'll be getting ready to go, and they're out and away they go, and
someone's already speared off at the back.
Bruce has had a shocker, he's dropped back. Connor Nixon's going to lead them down to turn 1. Watch for the drama into turn 1 here. Shane Gisbergen get tangled up with, I believe that was Dion DeGraaf, and Bruce Tannock has gone into the wall between turns 1 and 2, and he's towed back to the pits.
Copy, looking.
Filtering down into the hairpin at turn 3 here, and
nicely everyone getting through okay there.
Yes, a bit of drama early on, but from turn 1 onwards it looks like it's been relatively clean so far.
it's tight through there. Very hard corner to pin through with the ears back. GT3 you definitely can't, so V8s I'm imagining you've rolled right off through there.
007, flat 1.
And this is where our lead cars are, coming down towards the second to last corner for pit lane entry there on the left. Connor Nixon still leading over Simon Heddershire and Craig Mason up into third as they round the last corner and cross over the start finish line there. And we'll have a look and see. Oh, yep, someone just down the back there getting it all a bit wrong. I believe that might have been Daniel Johnson. There's still a lot of chaos here on. Yeah, I believe that was Marty Mitchell. As his name just keeps falling down the grid. There he is out there in the weeds, Marty Mitchell. Probably the worst time to mention it, but seeing while he's on the stream, I'll talk about it. He's got this lovely ice cream livery on his car, and that was because the gentleman who does the liveries for that team, his daughter has a big fascination for all things that are ice cream and beautiful coloured. So she said, "Dad, I want to see an ice cream livery." And there it is. So that one's a special one out to her for that.
Yeah, very cool. Sitting on lap 3 at the moment. These guys do have to make a compulsory stop for 4 tyres in this race as well as the longer race later on.
And Bill doing his best effort to give us a great shot of his undercarriage. That's not to be interpreted the wrong way. That was the underside of the car. As Cole Taylor.
Oh, that's awkward. Mostly everybody doing quite well though. Looked like Johnson's had to run down the grass.
Yeah, it looked like it was Andrew Johnson who managed to avoid collecting him, but might have picked up a wee bit of damage. We'll just have a quick jump inside car and see if he's got a bit of any left or right hand down. Always a bit hard to see when they come through a corner. Maybe a very a little bit of left. So if we bring up our data and we'll see if he's had his pit stop yet. He hasn't, so he might decide to bring that in on this lap and get that pit stop out of the way, because it's not flowing through those fast chasey sections as much as what he'd like it to be at the moment. Cole Taylor having a run on Mike Limbrick there. And Mike's car looking a little bit worse for wear, missing the bonnet, and Cole doing his best to try and catch back up. Mark Price, next one in line for looking at taking on Mr. Limbrick.
Cole's just dived to the pits there as well.
Funnily enough, Andrew Johnson didn't. Sorry, I cut over the top of you. Say that again.
Yeah, I'm actually a little surprised we haven't seen a few more guys take a pit stop, as Connor Nixon has ticked on to lap 4, so the end of this lap will mark halfway. So I would have thought a few guys maybe stuck in traffic would have looked to get in a lap or two earlier than halfway and try and get an undercut there.
Yes, indeed. And Connor doing his best to stretch his legs at the moment, with Simon Heddershire still there in second over Craig Mason in third. That
We've got to look at it post-race. Don't have a good view, mate. Sorry.
Just race control giving
and Connor's gone deep on pit entry and into the wall. That is not ideal. Luckily he'll have a fast repair to get that car patched up from that, but he's certainly lost time on the way in there, so it'll be interesting to see how that affects his race later on.
Yeah, Craig Mason also bringing it in on that lap as well. We'll see if we can see how these guys get back out of that. A few cars have come in. Sorry, clicked on the wrong one. So yeah, so we've had most of the field decide to come in on this lap here. Connor was way good, and Craig managing to probably get the best jump out of both of them.
Now this is an extremely tricky pit exit as well. You have to be super careful to get around there. And Connor's managed to do a good job. Craig's managed to do a good job as well. It'll be interesting to see if anybody else has any issues on the pit exit later in the race. And we saw pit entry maybe just as tricky with Connor making that mistake on the way in as well.
That's right. As we just have a look at Craig Mason here in the KRF OKMS Motorsport entry, rounding up one Mr. Limbrick, who I'm guessing still hasn't stopped unless he's had a mare and taken the front of his bumper off again. Let's have a gander. So yeah, only a few vehicles left there to pit. We'll jump back to Grant, and yeah, everyone else is done theirs. So currently leading Simon Heddershaw. Blake Grenhall gone into the pits. It's jumped Eamon Young up into second place in the Digital Bogan entry there. Blake will be an interesting one to see how he comes out of the pits.
Car 007, racing incident, carry on.
The race controller just announcing one of those incidents as a racing incident.
So here's a good overview of Blake as he comes down, as we see Craig Mason diving through that first complex of corners through turns 1 and 2. Blake just coming out in front of Dion de Graaf there. Lap 6 of 8 we are running in through to now. So Connor still remains effective leader of the race, because the next two in front of him haven't stopped. That being Simon and Eamon. But Simon was our P2 runner, as he has just come into the pit lane entry now. He'll be hoping to get the best in and out of there that he has ever done. Give us a better view than the rooftop there.
I think this could be quite close on the merge here, because Simon had about a 36-second lead over Connor.
Right.
When he peeled into the pits, so this could be really close.
He's done the right thing. He's up. 4 tyres getting whipped off. No fuel going in. Car about to drop back down. There it goes.
Looked like
That was a good stop.
9 longer than Connor.
Yeah, no, a 9.95 versus an 11.74, okay. So a little bit faster.
Oh no! Oh, he was going to have him, but he's looped it on the pit exit. That's what I was talking about. Super tricky. And I think he was going to be well clear before he made that mistake. I was just about to say it. I didn't quite put the mockers on him because I didn't quite say it before he made the mistake.
Yeah, and that mistake easily caused the good drop there of about 3 seconds. As he did a very good job not to loop that car around completely, but he's had to gather that back up to a full stop before being able to get the car moving again forwards, or else it was going to be all over Red Rover, and he would have given away a lot more than that. So Simon's still coming out on cold tyres, be just starting to build up a little bit of temperature now. He's still got to be careful under braking coming down the end of this long straight, that he doesn't shoot off down deep into the end of this right-hander, which is quite a tricky complex of corners. You don't want to hit the apex on the inside too hard, as we saw Bill do earlier, or else it'll put you up on 2 wheels and really fire you out across into the grass. So this has been nearly, just come into lap 8 of 8 now for our first race of the evening. Feature race coming up shortly, which is going to be Was it 16 laps?
20 laps, I believe.
Oh, nice long feature race coming up. That will definitely put a bit more pressure on people.
22 laps even.
Wow, far out. Even bigger number, as we just saw Shane van Gisbergen round up Sam Neill.
Did it sound like I made the race too long or something there, boys? 22 laps.
No, it'll be good.
No,
it'll be
an
very
awesome
interesting to watch.
Yeah,
I
think
didn't have
8
that
laps
time.
for this first one might have even been a touch short. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this feature race pans out.
Yeah, it should be good. Obviously, that first turn one is just absolute chaos. So I actually think they did really well. I obviously couldn't quite see my cameras with Dion's incident, but anyway.
So Connor just coming through the final corner now. And he's going to come across the line and take a well-deserved win in race 1. The mistakes transiting pit lane from the top 2 cancelling each other out there.
It is, and a bit of a battle coming up towards the line between P3 and P4, KRF Motorsport and the Simblex entry of Dion de Graaf. Awesome battles take place between those guys, so this next race will be an interesting one to see how that goes. Van Gisbergen finished up in 5th, Sam Neill 6th. Heath Parlett from Skeleton Sim Sports took out 7th. Stuart Crawford, their park there, was in 8th. Blake Grenhall took 9, up 2 spots, and player of the match inside the top 10.
Oh.
The DSA Sylvan Motorsport entry of Mark Wright, your fellow friend co-racer. As you guys have got some interesting stuff coming up shortly, haven't you, with DSA Sylvan Motorsport?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of big races coming up. We've got this weekend the Raw before the 24, so that's a 2.4 hour race at Daytona, and we're going to be doing that, well, I'm going to be doing that in the Toyota 86. And Mark and our other teammate Daniel are going to take a Aston Martin GT4 each around there in that race, so that'll be interesting to see how we go. And I might have to bill Blake Greenhill for the damage to the paint there after he crashed into Mark at the end of the race.
Harmless, mate, harmless.
Doesn't Wayne pay your bills anyway, Shane? Does he not?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Wayne pays the bills, eh?
He pays some money towards expenses.
The DSA needs to be a bit smaller on the side of that thing then.
Yeah.
Just coming back to your point, Sean, as well about turn 1, I actually have in my track notes the hard braking before turn 1 can often cause incidents between drivers at the start of races, so extra care is required to get the best possible start. So it's even mentioned by iRacing that it's a tricky turn 1, so to see a little bit of drama there is not surprising, and I think you're right, they did do quite well, all things considered.
Yes, and I just had cars leaving the screen, so I couldn't quite comment on Dion's accident. Did you guys see what happened, or
No.
Really?
No, we a bit too short and still quite a bit of stuff happening. We didn't get a chance to jump back to review any of the incidents that took place during that first race.
Yes, so final points aren't actually set until we have a look at that and make a call on that one. Since he called it in, we have to have a look, so that'll be post-race.
Yep. And I've just had a message pop up from Mr. Connor Nixon saying that he's in the PG chat. Is that him saying that he
wants some friends?
Does he want to have a chat to you, possibly, Race Control? Did he call anything in during that last race?
Surprisingly, he didn't. I expected, because Connor's quite a verbal racer, a little bit like Dion, which is nothing wrong with that. They obviously like to voice their opinion, and that's what that mic button's for. Some people shouldn't have it, but some people got it.
Well, I'm gonna drag him up here and say
drag
hello.
Drag him up. I'm gonna go and look at some stuff.
Oh, good. Mr. Connor Nixon in the broadcasting lounge with us. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Feeling good.
Very good. How was that last one for you, mate?
Yeah, good. Set a lot of goals and I achieved all of them. It was getting off that line, to be honest. yeah, there's certain words I'd use about that start line. Just really like
Oh,
dusty. Yeah,
yeah.
it's really bad. The car doesn't want to grip at all, so just getting off that line.
We actually saw
Yeah,
that during the angle that we had for the stream with everyone getting away. Obviously, you know, quite a lot of tyre smoke, but
yeah,
it seemed to be more and quite consistent from all the vehicles down the line, where normally you might see one or two sort of giving a bit of a bark up, but it was sort of quite a unanimous smoke flare coming up from the cars as they all got away from the line.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, but yeah, that was goal number one. Goal number
Nice.
two was get away from Bruce and Shane there.
Yep.
Been on top of those guys all day. It feels like just trying to beat them. The last couple of weeks have just been dreadful for me. So to get this
Yeah.
little win, it feels good, really good.
That was good. So you got the a 22-lap feature race coming up, and it looked like your biggest competition that race was going to be the gentleman who finished in P2, and that was Simon. He had a whoopsie coming out of pit exit at the tight right-hander, just gassed it up a wee bit too soon and looped it. By our calculations, it looked like it might have been a very close merge, but obviously there a bit of reprieve there. How do you think that battle might have turned out if he had come out alongside you or just behind you there?
I think it would have been good, but I think I was still faster than him. Simon's a great dude, love him to death, but at the end of the day, I was still pushing 24s out of the car
Nice.
on a bit older tyres. But the thing's a weapon. Like this 1.9 car we've set up this week has just been remarkable.
Yeah.
Moving forward as the setup, we we found a lot of things that we didn't think would work, and it's worked out. And we've went, what the, why is this working? But we probably found an extra 6/10 just set up, and
Nice.
it's been unbelievable.
That's good to hear, and it is one of those surprising ones where where sometimes the opposite seems to have a work in favour rather than what the common sense approach to making a setup for a car to tighten or to loosen it as you see fit coming through the race. So it'll be interesting to see how your race set carries on for you moving forward into the 22 lapper. So best of luck for you for that one, Connor. Hopefully you can get a nice clean easy start and get away to stretch your legs. Best of luck for you in the feature, matey.
Thanks, mate. I just want to thank all my sponsors, MX Wraps, Thor, Montreal, and Racecraft Simulations. Thanks, guys.
Awesome stuff, and yeah, big shout out to all those guys for Connor. They're obviously backing the right dude on the day.
Yeah. I feel like, but yeah, the car's on fire, and thanks to the team all the time. Yeah, those guys are amazing.
Oh.
They just help every bit as they can, and just found a lot in the setup.
Good stuff. All right, Connor. Well, we'll take you back down. Which one would you like me to put you into, mate? Just back into the PG?
I'll just go back into my own, mate. Thanks,
I'll put
mate.
you back down in the PG one. There you go, matey.
See you, mate.
There you go. Just a nice wee chat with one of the racers. Obviously, he is Australian. If you couldn't work that out from the twang. So SuperCars NZ / AUS
/ WAL.
Yeah. / a few other things. SA. Got a few of those South Africans floating around. So yeah, SuperCars NZ. We've opened up a little bit to some of the Aussie guys, and we've found quite a nice wee balance of harmony with some others that they were struggling in finding some cohesion in some of the Aussie leagues, and they've been very gracious towards us with coming on board with SuperCars NZ and saying that we provide a really good league. So thank you to those guys. There he is there, sitting in P1 with his greatest frenemy, Simon Heddershire, sitting in P2. We'll see how these guys get away. Short lights about to come up. I might just keep it on this camera for the start.
Yes, they're lining up in the finishing order from race 1, and they're just about getting ready to go now. We're going to see the lights coming up in a moment. They're up now, and they're going to start lighting up. Connor Nixon from the pole, and they're away. Connor getting the initial jump, but
Cracker of a run.
And an incident at the back as well. Bruce Tannock involved, and I think Andrew Johnson, as Craig Mason's going to lead into turn 1. Can he hold around the outside of 2? This is going to be super close. Do they give each other plenty of room? Looks like it at the moment. Looks like much cleaner than race 1, and very well done there for everyone to get through turn 1 cleanly. Craig
Oh,
Mason's got to slot into second place as
Sam
Dion de running wide.
Neal, a bit of a turn in onto the side of Dion de Graaf as he falls down through the order.
Copy. Looking into it.
And Connor's able to just pull away from Craig at the front now. Mark Wright looking for a way around one of the passion cars there as he locked up, but couldn't quite find a gap. And it's Bill Kilger going going down the inside of someone at a very tricky spot at turn 7.
I believe it was Rob Higgins in the DC entry there.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
We come back to.
Penalty for Sam at the end of the race. 5-second penalty.
There we go. So a quick and easy confirmation of a penalty just been handed down there to Sam Neal. 5-second penalty on his issue with Dion de Graaf. So we might be able to actually have a wee look back at that one. Bruce Tannock just coming out of the pits there.
Yes,
So
he was
he
involved in the little tangle at the back of the grid at the start of that, so I'm not quite sure what went on there, but nothing was called into race control, so it might have just been a little bit awkward getting around the car, getting away slowly maybe.
There we go. Wayne said you were a little bit quiet, mate. So I've just turned you up a little bit. Wayne's just tuned in and he said it looks great. So, g'day Wayne, thank you for coming along. It's good to see that you've turned the rock music down and stopped shaking your head like that cockatoo that we sent you earlier.
Unless that's why he thinks I'm quiet.
He's still deaf. We'll have a look.
After surviving the early challenge from Craig Mason, he's been able to pull out to 1.1. That's about setting with what it was at the start of this lap, so I think he's just sort of settling into a rhythm here, although it's just stretched out. Craig Mason might have made a little bit of a mistake there. As
Whoa.
he's coming under pressure from Shane Van Gisbergen, who's dived down the inside and made contact. Craig goes off.
Race control should be good.
And I was waiting for that call. As Passion Car and makes contact with my teammate Mark Wright.
Yeah, it was a bit of a hard one because it looked like car 97 was a bit out of control, just coming alongside the pit lane entry, and then by gathering it back up, ran a wee bit deep under brakes, and where Craig wanted to turn in, he probably wasn't able to, so it could have been a combination of car 97 just running him out wide where there was no more racing room, and Craig had no option but to try and turn in. Yeah, tricky one. So that's what Sean's got to.
Penalty, car 97 after the race.
So there we go. So easy decision by race control there. Car 97 been handed a, I believe, did he say 5 or 10?
I believe it was 5.
Okay, yep, 5-second time penalty post race.
He's absolutely flying, isn't he? He's just put a move on Simon Hedershide. He'll chase down Connor Nixon now, but wherever he gets to, he's going to have to put that 5-second gap on to make sure that he holds on to that position at the end.
Yeah, so that's that one there. I'm going to have a quick look back at the Dion de Graaf incident that I said we'll have a squiz at.
Oh yeah, that's a very forceful move by Sam there, and
yeah, just no room, and the space wasn't there for him to consider looking at that, and he took the dive, and it was still quite aggressive and late under the brakes there. So we see Bruce Tannock is wriggling his way through some of the front guys. He's actually just towards the back of P3 Simon Heddershaw there, even though Bruce is currently in P32 after that early stop.
You still on replay there, Doug?
No, I've clicking on.
Okay, just didn't have your data up. That's why.
Yeah, no, I had. Sorry, I'll bring that up there for you, so you can see that there. No, I was just running off what I can see there on the SDK data sheet. What else have we got happening there? Your teammate went through and went through the pits. I don't know if that was if it was going to. Are they only going to be doing the one stop this race for the compulsory tyres, or are they got a fuel restriction?
It'll just be the one stop for tyres that they need to do. So obviously, Mark getting involved in contact with the PSR car that we saw going around a little bit earlier, so would have come in to take a fast repair. It'll be quite a long way on tyres, but he'll just have to do his best to manage that.
So this is Mark coming into the pits, and see if he jumps up on his box stands there to get some tyres. Yep, it's up. And Mark was in there for 9.88 seconds, so yep, about the same normal time there, consistent with taking tyres. So
002. Yeah.
didn't see who called that,
Might have been
but
Simon
it was
Wallace whose voice I heard there.
and it sounded like he was putting a complaint in on BJ O'Keefe there, AKMS entry.
Yeah,
But I don't
it's
see I don't see
002.
Simon's name nearby.
I've got Simon going off track. That's all by himself though.
Simon Willis went off track. There's a couple of those actually. Let's try this one here. No, like you said, that's all by himself. Oh, there we go.
I
There's
believe it's one previous to that.
Race control 041, lap 5.
041 lap 5. Okay, no, I will leave that with Sean. I can't find that one, but the Pricey's had a monumental. Look at the state of that coming out of pit lane.
Oh, what has happened there?
Mark Price left the pits. Mark Price entered the pits. Let's see if we can work this one out. I reckon he hasn't had fast repair on. This is before the data showing Mark Price crashed. So, car sitting there, but not doing.
I think you're right. He must have had fast repair unticked, but he hasn't even gone up on the jacks, has he?
No.
Thank you.
That's a strange one.
Fuel. Okay. Very odd. All right.
Even and these cars even doing fuel, it should lift you up on the jack.
Yeah.
I
Very.
don't,
Can't work that one
I'm
out.
stumped.
Just as we click back to it, there's Van Gisbergen and Connor Nixon taking a great bit of battle there. Where are they? Just coming into
Coming around
out of that complex into the last wee back straight away.
So Shane taking the lead, he will have to put 5 seconds on Connor to seal the win though, so plenty for Connor to still fight for as he'll try and stick with him in terms of pace and see if he can stay within that 5-second margin.
He comes out of that corner very loosely, doesn't he? That was the same one that he had that issue with before with car 47. Yeah, interesting. We'll take a moment while this is all playing out. I'll set it to exciting.
Lap 2.
So that Craig might not have heard the outcome from that, because that was one that
The same
had
one.
already been announced as the 5-second penalty that he's referring to there.
Yeah. So they're on with Blake Grenhall here, property edge entry, and while we are talking about people who owe us Race Week sponsorship, the property edge, we'll mention this week's race sponsor, and they are Direct Screens Tauranga. I believe I've got that correct. Yeah, Direct Screens Tauranga. That's Mike Limbrick's company up there. I spoke to him about it the other day. He's been running that business for the last 11 years, obviously servicing the Tauranga area, and goes as far as Waihi and down to Papamoa. The only focus is on doing security screen doors, insect screens. All of them can either be new, or they can sort them out as retrofits to existing homes. And the best way to get in contact with Mike is you can find his details, Direct Screens Tauranga, in the yellow pages, and you can also email him at sales@directscreens.co.nz. So thank you to Mr. Limbrick, Michael, for your Race Week sponsorship. We will try and sing out your praises as much as we can. We unfortunately don't have a wee logo for that one. It's Mike being a bit old school, and as you can obviously see by me saying referencing, you can find his details in the yellow pages. For some of you younger ones out there, that used to be a little yellow book that got dropped off once a year by the mailman, and it had all the company's details in it, and you would flick through and find what you were after. In this case it would be screen doors, might be under doors, and then you would find the details of the company that you were looking for under that.
You make it sound like that doesn't exist anymore. I still get the yellow pages dropped off every year.
You would look at them too, wouldn't you?
I don't even want to know what part of New Zealand you're living in to still get a yellow pages, mate. So that's what the olden days Google used to be.
The best thing was Yellow Pages selling their stuff, selling out for like millions of dollars, and then it's like, well, we don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
So there was an incident there between Derek Lovegrove and Bruce Tannock. Derek coming over pretty quickly and apologising.
As we see Derek out there on the ground, Bruce responding quite promptly.
Yeah, there was an issue in qualifying with Derek coming out of pit lane. Obviously, that pit lane exit is horrible.
It is.
Someone called it into race control, and I was like, mate, just apologise and move on, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what this league's about. It's like we own our mistakes, and if you make one, just say sorry and move on. You know, more times out of 10 they won't call it in. Unfortunately, race control will only act on what is called in. So if they don't call it, then I ain't going to look at it. So.
That's it. And it sounded like Shane obviously Craig hadn't heard your call before for car 97's penalty, so he called it through twice.
Yeah, I didn't actually call it through the second time. I was too busy looking at another one. So we got 3 time penalties, and looking at 1 rejoin in race 1. So we've got a bit of stuff after tonight to have a look at, which will be interesting enough. We've got 3 time penalties here. Car 32's got a 5-second time penalty, which I actually thought was a little bit lenient. The guy he hit lost like 10 spots. So Car 97's got a 10-second penalty after the race.
Oh, it was 10.
Yeah, 10
Okay,
seconds for Shane. And car 002 got a 5-second penalty, which could have been higher as
BJ
well.
O'Keefe.
Yeah.
Right.
Which we'll talk
Who
about
and
that
who
after
was
the
that?
race. What happened there.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
There was,
No, that's
Simon
cool.
Willis is disconnected, so
Right,
they obviously
okay.
had some bash leads leading up to the incident.
Yes.
And I don't want to put words in people's mouths, but
Yep.
he definitely hit him, so that's why he's got
Okay.
the time penalty, and it
Yep.
could have been
Right,
more.
Carl, can you have a look at that, please, coming up pit lane?
I don't know who
Car and
that
laps,
was.
please. Car and laps. Sorry, someone's asking to look at something.
Yeah.
Car 20, lap 11.
So I've got to look at something lap 11. So again, it's pit lane exit. It's what he's asked for, so that'll be quite interesting. It is a difficult pit lane exit. So,
Car 45,
and he's giving me the car number, which is, I think it's a digital Bogans car. So I'm going to go and look at that, boys, and you carry on, and I'll come and annoy you soon.
Yeah, very good. So yeah, so we're just on your teammate there, Mark Wright, at the moment, who has served one stop along with a few others. I think we'll click on Blake. So yeah, so from positions 11 down currently have all taken one stop, and as we can see, still we're only at lap 12 of 22. It's still quite early on. The racing has definitely spread out. Some drivers doing better at managing their tyre burn versus others, as we just see Peter Vanderberg there round around Mike Limbrick. There he is. The man, the myth, the legend, Direct Screens Tauranga. That's him.
Was he missing that bonnet in race 1 as well?
Yeah, I think they've actually run out of bonnets to give him. They've straightened up every other panel of the car, and usually we see.
As he goes around.
Yeah, is he going to take out his teammate? No, I thought he might have been trying to steal a bumper there for a minute. Steve Darren, SDI entry. He's about to exit pit lane. There we go. He's got the flashes on. Let's have a look and see if, as he comes rolling down, if he's going to be... Because as you said, it's very tight, so he's all clear of everyone there when he comes through. And you can see the pit exit cone. That white line there that Steve's just driving by there to his driver's right is the indication of the line that cannot be crossed by both drivers coming out or going around that corner whilst another car is exiting pit lane. Can't be having people impeding each other, either coming out or going around the corner of another car coming out through pit lane. So it is a tricky one. That's what Sean's looking at now. It's an issue that someone had called through on a possible pit lane exit breach.
Yeah, so obviously if you cross over that line at all, iRacing will automatically give you a penalty. So I'd say it's probably to do with more how the car is rejoined after the line, but it is important to note as well that it's both guys' responsibility to merge safely. So as long as the car exiting the pit stays left of that line and the car on lap gives room to the car exiting the pits to be able to merge safely, then everything should be good. If there's an incident, then someone's done something wrong, and it'll be up to Sean to determine who's at fault.
That's it. We'll just have a quick squiz here. Daniel Johnstone, NZ painted livery vehicle. He was last week's V8 clean race winner, and I think at the moment he's only on one incident point, but there was a few on one. There's a couple on 0 that I can see, and I believe the best one at it at the moment is Connor Nixon. Connor's fallen down through the order a wee bit. Well, that's because he's taken his pit stop. He
So-
was following Shane van Gisbergen very closely, within half to 600ths of a second, but they were definitely stretching their legs on moving away from the other drivers around them.
Thanks, Marty.
Just to add to that, obviously the numbers you're looking at there in SDK, I believe they are just off tracks and don't necessarily take into account contact with other cars. So the
Okay,
numbers
yep,
I've
cool.
got within iRacing itself will be more accurate than that. And Grant
Yep.
Bristow is currently the only driver running on 0 incidents.
Oh well, we'll give Grant some time back there on the board, because I actually saw a data that Grant Bristow crashed before, so we'll have a look at this and see how it didn't pick anything up. Might have just been he got the tail loose coming out through here, did it?
Yeah, copy, mate. I did get your call. Still
Oh,
looking at
yeah,
it.
it's just
Thank
come
you.
in a
Just
little
run
bit,
over there.
almost
Yep.
to a stop. So I think the way SDK reads when somebody's had a crash is if they come to a stop or almost to a stop, it thinks they've crashed.
Mhm.
So just the way he ran a little bit wide coming through that corner
Yes,
and
he
had to
did.
go very slowly to get around, that would have been what triggered that, I think.
There we go. So yeah, a few names making some good grounds there so far. Player of the match this race so far is Cole Taylor. Yes, the Cole Taylor, the one that we
Cole
saw,
Taylor.
or that Cole Taylor, as someone has said there in the comments earlier. But I'm not too sure who that is. It's a Insta1NXX. I don't know who that is, but feel free to drop your name in there so we know who we're talking to there on the chit chat. Yeah, that Cole Taylor currently up 20 grid spots, sitting there in 15th, as he's in a very good battle there with Dane, who's pulled off very hard right hand down. Dane coming back to us after a couple of weeks. There we go. Mr. Jared Eccleston is our one there. Instincts is his handle. I'll say hello to Jared and ask why the hell he's not racing here this evening. I'll give him a chance to talk back about that one. What else we got? Gizzy into the pits, chased by Simon Hedischer there in second. Connor 32 seconds away from these guys. So let's try and bring up something that might be able to show us how close they are to coming out. Looks like Simon actually... Oh no, so I saw Simon jumping Shane van Gisbergen in pits. So there's Connor. So he's
making his way out now, coming around the left-hander,
and there's Connor. So he's actually going to come out behind Shane. Shane just coming across the front of Steve Darren. So that puts that time gap at nearly a second. Interestingly though, Connor seemed to be having a better run at chasing Shane rather than taking the option to come in and try and get some clear air.
and Connor's keen for Steve to jump out of the way, but it is a hard track to make that room cleanly, as Steve has managed to find a spot to just back out of it and let him go.
Yeah, he did. So yeah, as you said, Steve Darren there moving over, and that looks like Sam Neal just moving over for Van Gisbergen. No, it wasn't Sam Neal. Someone else in a black Holden entry.
James McKenzie.
Oh,
It is too.
I'm back, boys. Sorry, I was looking at something else when I went. Ooh.
No. There we go. James McKenzie, PSR
Craig's on
entry,
a pass. Craig's on a pass.
Sim Racing.
Oh, Steve's had a big moment.
We're all looking at different stuff. It's quite good, eh? SuperCars NZ, it goes on all over the track. Oh, side by side there as well.
Oh!
I think
Far
he
out.
space
That
was there
was.
for him.
Yeah.
And Dion's had not a shocker. He's had a bit of bad luck. He's had a bit of a shocker, so not a shocker, but people were in his way. A few incidents we've got to look at post race. He's coming back into this little battle. Something happened on the Exeter pits with car 45, so I couldn't quite look at it. And he's here now.
Tony Lynch,
Yeah.
there he is.
Oh, okay. So I obviously got past him. The Digital Bogans cars, obviously same paint scheme.
Yep, chasing there. Steve Bradford there, currently in 10th spot. Skeleton Sim Sports. Stuart Crawford in the KFC entry has just been rounded up by Dion de Graaf. Dion chasing down the other Digital Bogan entry of Eamon Young.
And he's a good guy to race against him, Eamon.
I know you've had some good battles with him.
Yeah, really good. So he's fun. Eamon Young, sorry. Yeah. So, and the KFC car, that's pretty big in Aussie. I'm sure there's quite a big team that races those things in Aussie League. Yeah. So, where's my KFC? I wouldn't mind getting on board with them.
No, that's right. Hit us up, KFC, SuperCars NZ.
Shane, you're pretty quiet. I thought you'd be into it.
He's saving his breath because he knows he's about to get busy. Who's a good one? We'll give you your one. There you go.
Oh, here we go.
Give us a lap with your mate.
Well, hopefully this lap goes well. No pressure mark. Coming over the line to start the lap. Getting up to 6th gear, and just after he comes under the bridge, you'll get on the brakes. Down to 4th gear, 3rd, and down to 2nd at the apex of turn 2 there. Long right-hander, hotel corner, up to 3rd now. Get in the tail wagon on the exit. Probably not the ideal way to get off that corner, but gets it done anyway. Down to 2nd gear for turn 3 here, accelerating out, pulling gears, up to 4th gear, 5th gear, and then turn it in and get on the brakes, 4th gear, get that apex, and then get a bit of throttle, back on the brakes here, down to 2nd gear for the right-hander, long right-hander again at turn 7, grabbing 3rd gear, and now turning it into the chicane at turn 8 and 9, and the long right-hander to come out of that sequence, McDonald's corner. So all the fast food brands on board tonight. And pulling gears down the back straight, up to 6, on the brakes, down to 3rd gear, actually 4th gear he's taken through there, and 3rd for the left-hander at turn 12. Having to just take a slightly tighter line with the left car in the way there at turn 13, and the final corner, turn 14, Zeppelin curve. Getting the throttle down as cleanly as he can. He is on quite old tyres at this point because he pitted early, and pulling gears as he crosses the line to complete the lap.
There we go. Yeah, I was waiting for you to take half an ounce of breath of oxygen during that load. It's quite a busy lap. I don't think too many people get to see what exactly it's like there. But yeah, Mark obviously having a bit of an early issue. He came in around, I think it was around about lap 4 of 22 to take his pit stop. So a very long run now as we see the cars coming in to lap 21 of 22.
Yeah, so a couple laps to go, and the gap Shane Van Gisbergen's got over Connor Nixon now sitting just under 5 seconds, but he needs that to be sitting at 10 seconds. As Sean confirmed to us earlier, it's a 10-second penalty that he's got over his head, so at this stage he's still got a lot of work to do in the last couple of laps to hold on to that win.
Yes, indeed, and obviously there's a race penalty still to take place or possible race penalty to take place from an incident during race 1 still to be.
Lost it. Sorry, third place has just lost it. Oh no.
This one here? No? Who are you looking at?
Simon?
He's still showing in third for me. He's still pointed forward. He maybe he just dropped back behind a couple of lapped cars there. Sitting behind
Blake. Oh yeah, he did
behind
too.
our
Yeah,
mate
right.
our mate Blake, and car 15 of his mate Sam. I think it's Sam Apps at the other property edge.
It should be. Oh, it looks
That's
like.
it there, the grey one. Yep. So there's a grey one and a blue one. So they've sort of stuck together during the race. A grey and a blue. Grey.
Oh, he's got back past him again.
Blue, grey,
Yeah.
blue,
Look at that.
grey.
What a
Blue,
great advertising for that company.
grey, blue. Property edge. Hit us up, please. Send some monies.
What that? What
You've
that?
You've bought your home. No
Oh,
excuses.
oh, oh, oh.
Full send, Blake.
Thanks all.
Is that a box?
Oh, good stuff. Well done,
Oh,
Sam.
hell
Oh, we shouldn't laugh, but that was fucking hilarious.
Oh, there's another car off there.
So still the tightest battle here at the moment. Eamon chasing down Heath Parlett as the guys are looking at getting close to coming up to cross the line. Just halfway around the track, coming onto the back straightaway. Shane van Gisbergen with a time gap of nearly 5.7 over Connor in second. 10-second time penalty at the moment. Very close. Very close.
It is like 1/10
Yep.
to stay in third. Second.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it? Let's see if
We'll
he
be close.
doesn't. Let's see if he rolls out of it coming across the line. Definitely not. Never left Gizzy.
At this
No,
stage,
he
he's
needs-
got 10.9 over Simon, but if Simon can have a
Yeah.
quick finish, he may be able to reel that in a little bit.
So thank you, Gizzy, for your
Joining
race.
the boys.
Yep. There's Connor, second place. There's Mr. Heddershire there in third. So I believe, looking at it, it'll be Connor over Van Gisbergen over Simon Heddershire for 1, 2, and 3.
Could you put up the time difference? Is it little no gaps? Does that show up at the end or not? Look at
There you
that. So you got it.
So by a second,
Well,
Yep.
yeah, just that's not much.
very close.
Yeah.
So Craig Mason rounding out fourth over Sam Neal, who I think has a 5-second time penalty on him. So possibly Sam dropping down to about 7th or 8th. Heath Parlett, everyone's sending out smoke signals this evening. Dion DeGraaf, they're in 8th. Stuart Crawford, that was a good finish for Stuart. Oh, there's a couple there in the back, had a big moment. Mark doing his best to smoke some tyres. Oh, Bruce Tannock feeding it into the tire. I think this is how everyone turns around and says politely, F you to this track, never send us back here.
You might be onto something there, Doug. I really enjoyed this track in a GT3, but when I was trying to do some laps in the V8 tonight, I was really struggling and I gave up after about 20 minutes.
Yeah. And Mr. Scott Pickering might be onto something here. I know you can't see it, but he's put here into the chat. Team orders at the property edge. Team orders. Yeah, I don't. Sam wasn't listening. I know we shouldn't laugh, but I'm guessing Blake and Sam, obviously being mates, are probably having a good run. I know Blake and I have had some fun battles before, and of all places, we were mucking around was at Suzuka in the GT3s, and I don't know why we were, because we were sitting in position 6th and 7th, but we're still trying to. I think the incident count was getting up, and it was getting towards the end, and we were having a bit of fun door to door. So Blake, I know he's a good one for it, and as much as probably him and Sam have a good relationship with that as well. So yeah, anyway, that was round 4, Allports Gaming SuperCars NZ at Oschersleben. Connor has jumped back into the PG chat, but we're wrapping that one up, so we're going to wrap it up as it was there. Well done to Connor, that's probably sent you a P1 over Van Gisbergen with that time delay variation there, so well done to you. And yes, anyway, that was round 4, Oschersleben. Thank you again to Direct Screens Tauranga, our race week sponsor. Check them out, the yellow pages, or feel free to give them an email at sales@directscreens.co.nz. That's sales@directscreens.co.nz. It's Mike Limbrick's company up in Tauranga, servicing up as far as Waihi and all the way down to Papamoa. Thank you very much for joining me this evening, Shane. I look forward to doing some race calls on Thursday with Wayne up in the lounge while you're out there tutuing around in the Mercedes at our GT3 event.
Yeah, at Twin Ring Watagi.
Yeah, on the east side circuit, which is the slightly shorted variation, and the different pits that comes off the hairpin at the back. So it should be really good to see. Wish you all the best of luck, and hopefully you can get a few more spots back on your teammate whose name's still down there at the bottom of the list. I think he's sitting about 5th or 6th in the championship at the moment.
Yeah, 5th in both championships, I believe.
Oh, well, not too bad for a Welshie, eh? So there we go. They're all wrapped up, and we'll talk to you guys on Thursday. Thanks very much for joining us as Shane's gone and come back again. Thank you, Shane.